why no one takes you seriously and why you never get respect. And this is going to be a video of how to fix that. This video is going to apply to someone that can be in high school. This can also apply to someone who's in college. This can also apply to someone who is 40 or 50 years old that is working at a large company. This raises the question, why is respect ultimately important and needed in a man's life? We live in a world where many modern day marriages, there isn't a great connection between the two, and the wife ultimately loses respect to the husband over time. We currently live in a world where the kids of a family don't respect the dad, and it's because of multiple different things that I'm going to cover in this video. There's a difference between the guy who is respected and the guy who doesn't get respect, and it works in a way of a chain reaction, which I'm going to show you right here. This is the life of the respected man, and you're ultimately going to see how the respected man lives a completely different life and gets completely different results than the guy who doesn't get respected. To explain the chain reaction, let's explain the respected man. You get reinforcement, you get positive reinforcement, you get the respect. At work, you voice your ideas and people actually listen to you. Positive reinforcement. When you're not in the room, people speak well about you. People actually like you. Positive reinforcement. Women notice your energy and women look up to you and actually respect you. Positive reinforcement. Since you're receiving positive reinforcement from the outside world, you actually feel it in yourself. And as the days pass on, you naturally feel more confident in yourself and you feel good about your day-to-day life. You feel good about waking up and today's gonna be a good day. Let's get after it. People like me. I get respected by others, and I subconsciously feel good about myself. This isn't something you think of consciously. It's all in the back of your mind. Since you're getting this positive reinforcement from the outside world, inside you start feeling better about yourself, and then this manifests into your character, into your demeanor and your day-to-day life. So since you feel good up here, you're going to be performing better. So ultimately, you walk into the room, you feel more confident. You actually start conversations with people because you've been receiving positive reinforcement your whole life. People actually take into consideration your thoughts about a certain situation instead of completely discarding what you have to say. And since you're displaying these habits of confidence, you're putting in that extra effort because you feel good about yourself. This creates real world status, which is the third step. You end up getting promoted because your boss sees that you're confident in your work and that you're putting in the work day in and day out. Opportunities just start coming to you. And then in relationships, women admire and look up to you because they can sense the confidence. This all stemmed from the step number one of the chain reaction. You've received respect and positive reinforcement from the outside world, which ultimately led you to create a positive self-image, which ultimately then creates real world status. I said ultimately 3 times in a row, but we keep going. Now that we've gone over the respected man, let's go over the steps of the guy that no one cares about. It's the same exact formula, but it all changes in step number one. Again, this is the seed. This is where everything's planted. This is where everything starts and dictates where your future is going to land. You receive negative reinforcement. No one really listens to your opinions when you have to speak. You get cut off mid-sentence whenever you try to portray an idea to the world. Whenever you introduce yourself to people, people forget your name or you just get overlooked and just no one takes you seriously. You notice that women overlook you in the dating market and they decide to go for other options. And this leads to step number 2. You don't feel good about yourself. You're not receiving great output from the outside world. Therefore, in your inside mind, you're like, is there something wrong with me? Why is everyone overlooking me? Why is no one respecting me? Why are they respecting this other guy at work, but not respecting me? What do I have to do to fix this? Is there something wrong with me? What's going on? Since you've received negative reinforcement from the outside world, it starts to create a negative self-image in your mind. Like in the first example, the guy got positive reinforcement and he felt good about himself. He felt good about going into the office and conquering the world. Now that this guy's receiving negative reinforcement from the outside world, he's creating a negative self-image in his mind. Since you have a negative self-image about yourself, you walk into the room with slightly less confidence and you start second guessing yourself. Whenever you have a good idea to express, you decide to hold back and not express it because you think you're going to be judged or laughed at. This is all because of the negative seed that was planted in the past. What happens after this is that you stop caring about how you look or how you sound. You don't put effort into being more energetic or more charismatic in your day-to-day interactions. Since no one cares, no one respects you, you think it's going to be like that your whole life. And this negative mentality is ultimately bringing you down. You start comparing yourself to other men. Why is it that I don't get respect? Why is it that I don't get this or that? Why is everyone else doing better than me? This is all from the negative mindset. Since this negative mindset is dominating your thoughts, it's going to create a low status reality for you. Since you're not confident, since you don't want to put in that extra foot because you have it less than everyone else, since everyone else has an advantage over you, or that's what you think, you end up staying in the same job for 15 years, never getting any progress, never getting a promotion. You attract low quality women or getting completely ignored in the dating market since you don't feel good about yourself or you have no confidence. It's going to hold you back from wanting to go out and meet new people, meet new friends, and meet new women. Since you're not interacting with other people, you're going to be lonely. You're going to lose your social skills. You see how this all goes like in a negative slope, all from the seed that was planted years and years ago. This is why respect is so important, is because once you build that foundation of respect, it's going to take your life in a completely different trajectory than if you weren't to get that respect. Why you're not getting respect in today's modern world? It could be that you don't dress with intention. When you dress with intention, with a purpose, people admire that and they, oh, someone put in a little effort. I respect that. But when you go in with the wrinkled t-shirt that is under your bed, the sweatpants that are 10 years old, people can tell and they don't really, they're like, what's going on here? Like, you don't care? The thing is, especially in America, people don't really care about the way they present themselves. Whenever you go to grocery stores, everyone's dressed like that. Whenever you go to the bank, everyone's dressed like that. So when you put in a little more effort, they notice that and they give you slightly more respect than the usual guy who walks in and looks like he just woke up. This leads me to my next point, is that you don't take yourself seriously. People don't respect others who don't respect themselves. Let's say you go into work late, you put on the wrinkled shirt you've been wearing for the past 5 days. You don't really care about the sales goals that your team has to hit. Why would the manager choose to give you the extra leads that come in? Why would your coworkers take you seriously? In comparison to the top salesperson, people look up to the top salesperson. People want to learn from the top salesperson. The managers respect the top salesperson because he's putting money in their pockets. Take yourself seriously and then others will respect you. It's literally as simple as that. Next thing is that you're a clone of everyone else. You copy how everyone dresses. You copy how everyone talks. You copy everyone's interests, even if you're not fully interested in it. There's zero identity about you and zero things that make you unique. You must stand out because the guy who stands out gets admired because of his difference in the world. Now I want to talk about energy. You can either be low energy or high energy, and people can feel when you're high energy and then they don't feel anything next to you when you have low energy. And it's ultimately your habits that dictate your energy levels throughout the day. Now let's take two guys. One wakes up and goes to the gym early in the morning. He gets in that cardio, he lifts the weights, and then gets home and drinks a fruit protein smoothie. In comparison to the guy who wakes up, just scrolls on his phone, reading the negative stuff on social media, goes to the kitchen, eats some ice cream for breakfast and some cookies that he found on the counter. Both of them going to work at the same time. Who do you think is going to have a better magnetic energy and aura about themselves? It is obviously going to be the guy that put in the positive habits in his life in comparison to the guy that put in the negative habits in his life. It is ultimately your habits that dictate your energy levels throughout the day. And it is the guy with high energy that gets respected while the other guy just gets overlooked at and not even acknowledged that he's in the room. Another reason why you don't get respected is you don't understand the art of communication. You don't know how to talk to people. Maybe sometimes you're talking too fast or you don't know how to use your voice, stuff like that. You need to learn how to communicate, which ultimately leads you to your presence. You don't have a presence because you don't have that magnetic field. You don't have that energy or presence about yourself. And then you also don't know how to communicate, which also brings out that presence. All right, here are the action steps. Take notes because this is literally going to change your life. Sharpen your image. Once you sharpen your image, you're literally going to start getting respect like right away because this is the first thing that people see when they meet you. When it comes to respect, everyone overlooks image in the way that you look. It is because we live in a world where don't judge books by their covers. It's mean to judge books by their covers. We must listen and see what a person's thinking and the way that their mind works to ultimately come to a decision about them. No, that is complete BS. People judge books by their cover, whether they say that or not. It is a natural instinct for us humans. So why not use that to your advantage? You're going to get positive results and more respect than the average guy who just walks in not giving a shit. Get into the gym, start building muscle, start going 4, 5, 6 times a week, and you're going to notice respect from men and women. And it's different how the respect comes from the gym for men and women. As a guy, when you see someone else who's muscular, who's fit and athletic, you naturally respect them because he could be a threat if you guys were to fight. This is all like animalistic instincts. So it's not like you're going to think about this consciously. It's more of a subconscious thought. And then women respect a guy who is muscular and athletic because it looks like he puts in the work. It looks like someone who is reliable, who's disciplined, and girls like that. Keep your image clean, keep your clothes fitted, and keep it professional. Because if you're a 40-year-old who dresses like a college student, you're gonna be treated like a college student. But if you're a 20-year-old and you keep it professional, you keep it sharp, you keep it clean, people are gonna treat you like the way you present yourself. Not only does this give you more respect, but this increases your performance. When you look good, you feel good, and you just perform good. When you put on that suit, you feel confident in yourself, meaning you perform better. You go out, you socialize with others, you're starting conversations, you maybe speak to that girl and the receptionist. You feel good, you perform good. This also could relate to work. You feel good, you put in the extra work, you make the extra phone calls, you're gonna get extra results, which could lead to more money, which could lead to your managers looking up to you and being like, yo, this guy's on it. I like what he does. Okay, we've had some technical difficulties. The camera stopped working, so we're gonna use the computer's camera, but we keep going. You have two guys. One on the left is wearing sweatpants, hoodie, little hat, and then tennis shoes. And then you have a guy on the right. He's wearing a double-breasted suit, turtleneck, suede shoes, which all looks very sharp, professional. These two guys walk into a restaurant. What is the difference? The guy on the left-hand side walks in, gets sent to his table, waiter asks for the order, gets the order, normal stuff. This is the normal stuff you see in day-to-day interactions. But the guy on the right-hand side, he walks in, the receptionist greets him, asks him how his day is. Oh, everything's going well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Gets taken to his table. The server comes in, asks for his order, mentions about the wine of the day, how he can get a free sample. This all happens to you when you're presented in a well-fashioned manner because people see you as someone who has higher status, therefore treat you in a different way in correlation to the way you're presenting yourself. All of this perfectly correlates to the story that I'm about to tell you. So I was at the beach with my brother in Chile, and we decided to stop by the mall nearby on our way home. Since we were at the beach, we were wearing beach attire. We had our shirt, bathing suit, and sandals on. We stumbled across the Louis Vuitton store. We wanted to smell some of their colognes. We walk in the store, we get in line for the colognes, but the thing within Chile is that they're a little more protective with these products, these designer luxury products. It's not like they're just out in the open and you can go up to them, take them, sniff them, spray on, test them out like in the United States. We had to get assistants to basically smell these products, but no one seemed to have the time of day to work with me and my little brother. It was because of the way we presented ourselves. Yet there was people walking in wearing button-up shirts, nice trousers. The women were wearing dresses, had their nice purses. They were getting all the attention from the workers, and we're getting assistance while me and my brother were just standing there like, yo, what the heck? What's going on? But it all makes sense, dude. Why would someone at a luxury store want to help out the people wearing sandals and shorts when there's clients walking in that actually look like they took care of their appearance and look like they're ready to buy a product? The next step to receiving respect is to master your communication. Today's world, no one knows how to communicate. And once you learn these steps, you're going to notice that the lack of social skills and communication skills in between people. So, first thing, slow it down. Confidence never rushes. What you notice is when a person's a little nervous, a little bit uneased, they seem to rush their message. You notice someone, oh, you need to work with me because we have this, we have that, and why are you rushing things? It sounds nervous and it sounds like you don't believe in what you have to say. When you speak slowly and more controlled, people actually listen. When you're just rambling, it just goes through people's minds. Speak slow and you relay more confidence in that way. Become a man with a soul. A lot of guys, and even I used to be like this, spoke with just a monotone level to their voice. Like you go out and you people talk like this. Yeah, I did this yesterday and we're gonna do this later today. You should come with. Speak like you have a soul. Add some life to your voice. Add some character. Add some charisma. This is what gets respected nowadays. If you sound monotone, you're not gonna stand out, and you're gonna be perceived like everyone else, and you do not want to be perceived like everyone else because everyone else isn't trying in life. When you put in a little charisma, a little life into your voice, it makes other people like talking to you. It's because energy is transferable. And when you present this energetic, passionate level to your communication, other people feel it and are actually charmed by it. If you compare it to the usual, hey, how's your day, man? Oh, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, me too. Oh, good, good, good. Again, this energy gets transferred. People feel bored. People don't feel influenced by you, and the communication's cut short. Eye contact is very important because when you don't make eye contact, who are you talking to? Let's say you're right here, and I'm looking this way while talking to you, or looking down. Dude, I'm up here. If you want to make a point, look at the person in the eye because it has a 10 times more effect when you look at them in the eye. We're gonna go over a couple examples, so just give me 1 second. Most men don't make eye contact. And it's crazy because guys in their 30s, guys in their 40s, and guys in their 50s avoid eye contact. Why? Because they were never taught this skill. When you don't make eye contact when talking to someone, it looks disingenuous. It looks like you're not interested. And it looks like you just have no confidence in yourself. And this is also picked up with women too. They want a guy that isn't scared of them. They want a guy that knows how to talk. They want a guy who can look him in the eyes and say, let's go out tonight. Let's do this. We should do this. They want a guy that's confident in themselves. And this is what gets respected. Another step to master communication is to learn to listen. Nowadays, everyone rambles about their life. Everyone talks, and doesn't let the other person talk. Whenever you're out and about, just listen. Just listen to other groups of people or other couples talking. What you're gonna notice is the guy rambling. And then when the girl has something to chime in on, she talks for like 2 seconds, the guy cuts her off, starts talking about himself again, about himself. That is a very anti-seductive trait, but you do not want to do that because this loses respect between anyone who you're talking to, whether it's a guy or whether it's a girl. Learn to listen more. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use your ears more, talk a little less. People like talking about themselves. And it's rare nowadays for someone to actually listen to what someone has to say. When someone actually takes the time to listen to what someone else has to say, the person who's talking actually ends up liking and respecting the listener more and think they're great communicators, even though they didn't do anything. They just listen. So when you learn to listen, you actually become more charismatic, even without doing much. Now let's talk about body language. Body language is very, very important to communication, even though it gets very overlooked. There's a UCLA study that broke down the different aspects of communication and the ones that are more important. So of least importance is the verbal part of your communication. It's what's actually said. 7% of communication is verbal. 7%. We focus so much on what we want to say. Oh, is this the perfect line? Is this the perfect line to go up to the receptionist at the gym so I can get her number? Is this the right thing to say to my boss to get the promotion? It's crazy because we focus so much on this, yet it's 7%. 38% of communication is tone of voice. And then 55% of communication is body language. So if we add that together, 93% of communication is nonverbal. That is crazy, dude. Because everyone focuses so much on the right thing to say. How do I say this? How do I say that? When they're completely neglecting the most important factors of communication. So let's break it down. Body language, the most important part of communication. This was a 2-minute interview I analyzed yesterday, and it's just terrible. I'm gonna be honest. This happens to people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. I notice it every single day because I've studied this thing. Let's analyze Messi and this interview. First thing we notice is that his arms are on top of each other and he's covering his crotch. He's not making much movement when he's being asked these questions. And then you see his eyes, he's not looking at the interviewer. He's not looking at the guy asking him the questions. And it's like this the whole interview. Every now and then he'd look up to the guy, but for a split second, and then look back down. You cannot be doing this. This is very important because there's guys out there in the day-to-day world that 40s, 50s who screw this up. And it's very important because as we saw, body language is the most important factor of communication. As we see here, Messi looks nervous. He looks a little tense. He doesn't look confident. Now let's look at this picture. So much better. This is what you want to do. If we compare it to this, he's closed. You can see how tense he is. Open. Closed, open. He's open. His arms to the side. His hands on his leg. He is open to this. He's showing open body language, which shows confidence. This shows he's a little nervous, gives off a little tense energy. This, he's open, he's confident. Dude, ask me anything. I'm ready to answer. In this interview, I noticed he's made more eye contact with the interviewer. He actually used his hands when talking. In comparison to the other interview, he was just closed off and just talking like this with his head. But this interview, he actually used his hands to display his points. All in all, this body language displays that he's confident and he belongs there. He's ready to answer whatever question. And the crazy thing is, this is how important body language is. Let's say internally he's nervous. He's not ready for this interview, but he displays himself. Open body language, uses his hands, speaks slowly. He's going to be perceived as confident from everyone else. But if you're like this, even if you're confident up here, you're like this, you're being perceived as nervous and that you're not confident. So it's crazy how you can work around body language and use it to your advantage. Now let's talk about emotions. Keep your cool at all times when others lose it. Back in my sales job, there was a guy who I worked with. One day he lost a sale and he started freaking out. He started like whining and complaining. He's like, why does this always happen to me? I don't deserve this. Like, why doesn't this happen to anyone else? This literally only happens to me. And then me and my coworkers we're with the managers. We looked at each other and we just started laughing, bro, because it was funny. You just need to control your emotions. You can't be outbursting. You can't be falling into the rage bait. And that brings me on to the next point. Don't argue to prove something. Guys, stay away from these petty arguments. Most arguments get nowhere. If you're debating about Ronaldo and Messi, like, just what's the point? It's not going to get anywhere. I see people getting so emotional over these conversations. Like my friends, some of them like argue about, oh, this player is better than that player. Oh, this team's better than this. This is why they're gonna be champions. These are childish conversations. There's no point, and there's no point in getting so emotional over this. Not only that, but people online commenting, they write so many paragraphs. Why are you getting so emotional? This is not respected in today's world. People respect men who stay grounded and control their emotions. And this also relates to relationships. It is key to be passionate, showing love to your woman. But let's say one day you guys break up and you haven't learned to control your emotions. You start texting, you're like, oh my gosh, I miss you so much. Like, I've been thinking about you like for the past 5 days, and like past 2 nights, I've just been crying myself to sleep because remember what we used to have? Like, yo, people actually do this, and girls don't respect that. Girls see that and they're disgusted. They see that and they're like, who is this weak man trying to get me back? Use that energy and transfer it into other aspects of life and make yourself better instead of just putting it all into text messages, expressing your desperate need to get back with your ex. That is not respected, guys. Please. Now, to be respected, you must stand apart from the average man. When there is too much of one thing, it tends to get overlooked. When you're out driving on the road or on the highway, you see everyone driving a Ford F-150, Ford Escape, Ford Fusion. You don't even notice it because you see it so much. But one day, a McLaren drives past you. Whoa, you notice it because it's different. It's not something you see every day. It stands apart from the average car and it catches your attention. And all of a sudden, the guy parks his car, he gets out of his car. You're like, dude, I want to talk to this guy. I want to ask him for advice. He's driving a McLaren. Guys, there's distractions everywhere, and every guy lives life on autopilot. Wake up, scroll, drinking alcohol on the weekends, and then once they get drunk, once they go to the bars, oh yeah, let's chase these women, dude. Let's go up to these girls. Today's Friday, October 31st. It's Halloween weekend, like people like to say. Yesterday, Thursday night, people went out. Today, Halloween, people are going to go out. And then tomorrow, Saturday, people are going out. People are going out in their costumes, getting blackout drunk day after day to celebrate this Halloween, while there's people getting in their early night's rest, going to the gym the next morning, and actually getting stuff done. So you must direct your energy and facets that actually improve your life over time and stay away from the distractions. This is how you slowly stand apart. It's not difficult to stand out nowadays because no one's trying, dude. Honestly speaking, no one's trying. Now let's talk about interests. Since every guy's the same, every guy's interests are the same. Oh, I like this team. I work here. I do this. I enjoy drinking. There's so much to life other than that. There's a death to the idea of being an interesting guy, a guy of multiple hobbies, a guy who knows how to do this, a guy who knows how to do that. No one has interesting hobbies anymore. So that begs the question, what actually interests you? Have you ever sat down without any distractions and just written down what you want to achieve in life, what you want to learn in life, what type of man you want to become? How does the man you want to become dress? How does the man you want to become speak? And how does the man you want to become conduct himself on a daily basis? What does he do in his free time? What hobbies does he partake in? Does he play an instrument? Does he know how to cook? Dude, what actually interests you? It's crazy because there's so many people that have these like deep innate interests in them, yet never seem to express them in their day-to-day lives because they care too much of what other people think. They think that they're going to get judged if they do this or if they express themselves in this format. So be interesting. Everyone else remains the same and they remain the same as these decades pass. Now that you've made it to the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you a bonus lesson. So this is only for the people that stuck till the end. Let's talk about building mystery. Nowadays, everything is being broadcasted in our social medias 24/7. You're starting going to the gym. Oh, let me post it on social media. Oh yeah, I'm going day 2. Yeah, let me post it again. Okay, you're building a business. Oh yeah, we're going to make this money. Grind doesn't stop. The funny thing is, the people who do all this talking never end up getting results. And this isn't just me seeing this. I bet you've met someone who's been posting on social media or who has said something to you in person about their big achievements and aspirations they're going to accomplish, yet you never see any progress. It's because you get dopamine and you feel good, and it actually gives your mind a sense of achievement when you're telling people you're going to do something. But that ultimately makes you more lazy in the long run because since you have already gotten that sensation of achievement, your body's like, no, I've already felt good. I don't really want to put in the work. It's whatever. Stop posting every move you make. Shut up and lock in. Why would one want to respect someone who talks but never gets the results? You literally have to show your work. I had a friend who started going to the gym without telling anyone. One day we're at the pool, he takes his shirt off. He looks swole. I'm like, dude, this is crazy, bro. When did you start going to the gym? He got the respect because he decided to lock in and put in the work while no one else knew. Be the person that locks in and keeps everything. Be the person that locks in and keeps all this information to themselves. Wake up every morning, do the tasks no matter how difficult they are. Because over time, little by little, people are going to notice you're making progress in certain aspects of life, and there's nothing they can do but respect it. Because you kept your mouth shut, you put in the work, you're getting the results, and you're not talking your head off like most people do. Not only do other people respect it, but girls love mystery. If you're a guy who wakes up, your girlfriend knows your routine. She knows what you eat for breakfast. She knows exactly what you do on the weekends, that you watch the game at a certain time. She knows that when you get home from work on Friday night, you play the video game. She knows your exact routine. She knows that every Wednesday you guys go to the same Mexican restaurant. She knows everything about you. It's like a monotonous routine. She's going to get bored. She's going to start disrespecting you. You must be a book that unravels itself over time. You must surprise her. You must be mysterious to the point where she learns something new about you after every single time you guys hang out. This ties into the last slide. Be interesting. Teach her something every now and then. Surprise her with a new date, a new spot. She's like, whoa, where are we going? Are we going to the usual spot we go to? And you're like, no, I want to try something new. We're going to go here actually.